Once upon a time, in a small coastal village in Ghana, there lived a fisherman with a rather peculiar name, Mosi Tiko-Tiko. Mosi was known far and wide for two things: his infectious laughter and his bad luck with fishing. No matter how hard he tried, his nets would return with nothing more than a few shells, some seaweed, and an occasional crab. But Mosi Tiko-Tiko never lost hope. He would just laugh and say, "One day, the sea will remember my name." One fine morning, Mosi Tiko-Tiko set out in his rickety boat, whistling a joyful tune, despite knowing he might return empty-handed again. He rowed far out into the shimmering waters, letting his net sink deep beneath the waves. Hours passed, but Mosi's cheerful mood never wavered. Then, just as the sun began to dip, his net jerked violently. "Oh!" Mosi cried. "The sea has remembered my name." With great effort, he hauled the net in, only to find a single fish, glimmering gold and sparkling like the morning sun. As he stared in disbelief, the fish spoke, its voice melodic like the waves. "Fisherman Mosi Tiko-Tiko," the fish said, "I am no ordinary fish. I am the Magical Nyamefish, sent from the depths of the sea to grant you 3 wishes." Mosi blinked, then burst into laughter. "A talking fish. What will I see next? A dancing crab?" But the fish was serious. "3 wishes, but be warned, each wish comes with a consequence." Mosi scratched his head, his grin widening. "Consequences? Pah! I live with my mother-in-law. How bad can it be?" And so, Mosi made his first wish. "I wish for a boat big enough to fit all the fish in the sea." In a flash, his small, battered boat transformed into a grand vessel, shiny and new. Mosi jumped aboard, feeling like the king of the sea. But as he sailed back to the village, he realized his boat was so enormous that it couldn't fit into the narrow river that led home. He was stuck at sea, watching helplessly as his village grew smaller and smaller in the distance. Mosi sighed. "Well, that didn't go as planned. But no matter. I still have 2 wishes." After much thought, he shouted to the Nyamefish, "I wish to be the richest man in the village." With a swirl of magic, Mosi was transported back to his village. His small hut had transformed into a grand palace, filled with gold, jewels, and fine silks. The villagers marveled at his wealth, but Mosi soon realized his new riches came with a problem: everyone in the village wanted something from him. Day and night, they begged and pleaded, asking for gold, food, and favors. He couldn't walk 2 steps without someone tugging at his sleeve. Mosi rubbed his chin. Being rich is more work than being poor. Who would have thought?" By now, Mosi was growing a bit cautious. He still had 1 wish left, and he didn't want to bungle it like the others. So he sat on the shore, watching the waves lap against the sand, thinking long and hard. Finally, he had it. "I wish for a peaceful, quiet life," Mosi said. "No more trouble." The Nyamefish twirled in the water, and with a flash, Mosi was transported to a distant island, far away from the village. The air was sweet, the birds sang in the trees, and not a soul was around to bother him. It was peaceful, all right, too peaceful. Days turned into weeks, and soon Mosi began talking to coconuts just to hear a voice other than his own. He missed the bustle of the village, the laughter of children, even the constant bickering of his mother-in-law. His peaceful, quiet life was, in fact, lonely. Mosi sat on the beach, staring out at the horizon. "I suppose," he said to a nearby coconut, "I should have asked for something more specific, eh?" And as if on cue, the Nyamefish reappeared in the shallows. It glowed with a soft light, its eyes full of wisdom. Mosi Tiko-Tiko, do you see now that every wish carries a weight? What you desire may not always be what you truly need. Mosi nodded thoughtfully. You're right, Nyamefish. I asked for what I thought would make me happy, but I never thought about what I already had. He smiled. Maybe the real magic was in enjoying the life I had before. The Nyamefish, with a knowing wink, splashed its tail. Your heart is wise, Mosi. Now, go home. With that, Mosi found himself back in his old, creaky boat, just as it had been before. The village was in sight, and though it wasn't perfect, it was home. Mosi Tiko-Tiko rode back, laughing as he always did. From that day on, Mosi never wished for more than what he needed, and he always made sure to cherish the simple joys of life. And though his fishing luck didn't much improve, the village always remembered him as the fisherman who once caught the magical Nyamefish, and learned that sometimes, the best things in life are the things you already have. And that, my friends, is the tale of Mosi Tiko-Tiko, the fisherman with a funny name and a heart as deep as the sea.